You're watching another True Villain commentary.
Alright everybody, it's True Villain. Welcome back. And today I want to talk about something that a lot of creators think about, a lot of viewers talk about, and almost nobody wants to be fully honest about. Is being original on YouTube still even a real thing in 2026? Because the more I look at YouTube right now, especially in gaming, the more I think people are chasing this fantasy version of originality that barely exists anymore. And I know that sounds harsh. I know some people are already getting ready to say, nah bro, you just have to be creative. Cool, creativity matters. I'm not saying it doesn't. But what I am saying is that the internet keeps acting like originality is this pure, untouched thing where if your content is truly good, it will be completely different from everybody else's. That is not how this works. Especially not in a niche like gaming. Especially not in a niche like Call of Duty. And especially not in 2026, where every format has been done 1,000 times, every angle has been tried, and every topic gets covered by 50 people within the same 24 hours. So let's really talk about it, because I think true originality is rare now. Very rare. Not impossible, but rare enough that people need to stop throwing that word around like it's the only thing that matters. And the easiest place to explain this is with my own lane. I'm in gaming. A lot of the content is Call of Duty, Warzone, updates, opinions, meta talk, news, commentary, patch note breakdowns. Whether the game is good, whether it's bad, whether Activision is fumbling, whether the next update matters, whether the next Call of Duty is cooked, all that. Now, let's be honest for a second. How many truly different opinions are there really in that lane? If a patch drops and a gun is overpowered, what's gonna happen? Everybody is going to say the gun is overpowered. Some will say it in a calmer way. Some will scream it. Some will build a class around it. Some will make a rant video. Some will make a best loadout video. But the conclusion is still the same. If a game launches and it's mid, most people are going to land in the same general place. Maybe one guy is more positive, maybe one guy is more negative. But in a game like COD, so much of the conversation is basically binary. You either like the game or you don't. You either think the update helped or it didn't. You either think the movement is too cracked or too slow. You either think the matchmaking is exhausting or you don't. There is not some infinite galaxy of takes here. And that's what people need to understand. A lot of creators are not saying similar things because they're all secretly copying each other. A lot of times they're saying similar things because they are all reacting to the same game, the same patch notes, the same bad design, the same broken weapon, the same terrible map, the same obvious problem, and there are only so many reasonable conclusions you can come to. That is not theft. That is not some originality crisis by itself. That is called shared reality. And I think a lot of viewers do not understand that. They see 3 creators all saying that COD is in a bad spot, and immediately assume everybody is biting each other. But sometimes, the game is just in a bad spot. Sometimes, the matchmaking is just bad. Sometimes the campaign really is weak. Sometimes the map pool really is terrible. Sometimes there is not a secret 4th-dimensional take hiding out there waiting for somebody to discover it. Sometimes the obvious answer is the answer. And that leads into the first real point I want to make. The whole myth of being 100% original is overhyped. I really believe that. Most content is remixed ideas. Most content is built on existing formats. Most content is somebody seeing what works, understanding what the audience responds to, and then making their own version of it. Even the biggest creators in the world do this. They all do. The titles change. The editing changes. The voice changes. The packaging changes. But most of them are not inventing content from scratch. Every upload like they're descending from the heavens with a brand new art form. They are using known structures, known hooks, known video types, known pacing, known thumbnail logic, known emotional triggers, and then fitting their own identity into that frame. That's YouTube. And honestly, that's not even a bad thing. The problem is, people hear that and act like it means copying is okay. No. That is where people get it twisted. There is a huge difference between copying and adapting, and I think more creators need to be able to say that clearly without dancing around it. Copying is when you take somebody's exact content, exact structure, exact wording, exact title angle, exact flow, exact joke pattern, exact examples, and you basically just reskin it. That is lazy. That is weak. And yeah, that deserves to get called out. But adapting is different. Adapting is when you look at a concept and realize, okay, this works. This idea connects. This niche has an audience. This format is proven. Then you take that concept and rebuild it through your own lens, your own style, your own voice, your own editing, your own topic focus, your own audience, and your own execution. That is not stealing. That is business. That is strategy. That is how YouTube actually works. And this is where niche strategy becomes really important. Let's say there's a channel doing really well using Roblox plus real athletes. Maybe they're making videos around LeBron James, Lionel Messi, Patrick Mahomes, whatever. They found a lane where recognizable athletes plus a popular game equals views. Now, if a new creator sees that and says, okay, there's clearly an audience for real athlete gaming content, and then they make that same general concept work through Minecraft or Fortnite, that is not automatically copying. If they build it around different gameplay mechanics, different pacing, different storytelling, different jokes, different editing, different challenges, different scenarios, then no, that is not stealing somebody's soul. That is understanding a niche and positioning yourself inside it. And that matters, because too many people act like the second two creators touch a similar idea. One of them must be fake. No. Sometimes one person proves that an audience exists, and then somebody else enters that lane with a new flavor. That's how markets work. That's how niches work. That's how content ecosystems work. The real test is whether you're adding your own execution or just tracing over somebody else's work. And if you are smart, you should be paying attention to what works. That's another thing people don't want to admit. On YouTube, you are not rewarded just for being different. You are rewarded for being clickable and valuable. That's the truth. If your video is original but nobody clicks it, it dies. If your idea is different but nobody cares, it dies. If your content is creatively pure but it doesn't connect, it dies. That does not mean quality does not matter. It does. But YouTube is not some magical place where the algorithm hugs you for being unique. It rewards what people click, what people watch, what people stay for, what people share, what people care enough to respond to. That's why trends matter. That's why formats matter. That's why what works gets repeated. Because people are chasing attention. And again, in gaming, especially gaming commentary, especially COD, a lot of the content lane is naturally limited. Patch notes videos, same information. Weapon meta videos, same likely top conclusions. News updates, same core facts. Opinion videos, usually a few predictable outcomes. That's the reality of the niche. So when you're in that kind of lane, being original is less about discovering some never-before-seen angle and more about how you package your viewpoint, how honest you are, how strong your delivery is, and how clearly your personality comes through. That's where creators get separated. Not because one person said, SBMM sucks, and another person said, SBMM sucks, and somehow only one of them was allowed to say it. No, the difference is in the delivery, the structure, the conviction, the examples, the framing, the entertainment value, the clarity, the audience relationship. That is where the separation happens, once the base topic itself is already saturated. And honestly, I think some creators hurt themselves by obsessing over originality so much that they stop doing what actually works. They get scared to make a topic because somebody else already touched it. They get scared to make a format because it's too common. They get scared to title a video in a proven way because they don't want to seem similar. And then they wonder why nobody's watching. You can't think like that forever if you actually want to grow, because this is the part people really need to hear. YouTube is creative, but it is also a business. That matters. If you're trying to build a channel, build a brand, make money, turn this into something real, then yes, passion matters. Yes, originality matters. Yes, authenticity matters. But strategy matters too. Studying what works matters. Competing matters. Adapting matters. And the people who win usually understand both sides. They love making content, but they also understand the game. They understand that a good idea in the wrong package dies. They understand that trends are not evil. They understand that proven formats exist for a reason. They understand that being different is worthless if different just means worse. That's why I think the real answer to the question, is being original on YouTube still a thing in 2026? Is this. Yes, but not in the fantasy way people talk about it. Originality still exists, but it shows up in your voice, your choices, your perspective, your timing, your conviction, your worldview, your execution, not always in the raw topic itself. Because the raw topic, most of the time, that's already been done, especially in gaming. And if you keep waiting around for some untouched lane where nobody has ever said anything similar before, you're going to be waiting forever while everybody else is uploading. So my advice is simple. Be real, be sharp, be smart. Do not copy, but absolutely adapt. Absolutely study what works. Absolutely learn the lane. Absolutely position yourself. Because the people who keep screaming, "Be original," with no nuance, usually are not the people teaching you how to actually win. And at the end of the day, if you want to be on YouTube long term, you need to love this. You need to actually care about creating. You need to care enough to keep going when videos flop, when people complain, when niches get crowded, when everybody says the same thing, when it feels impossible to stand out. But you also need to understand what this really is. This is not just art. This is not just self-expression. This is a business. And in business, you do what works. You adapt. You compete. If something is working for you, keep refining it. Keep sharpening it. Keep making it better. Do not let random people on the internet shame you out of a strategy that is clearly moving the needle just because it doesn't match their fake definition of originality. If you've got thoughts on whether originality on YouTube is dead or just misunderstood, drop them in the comments. And if you're new around here, subscribe. Don't let anyone tell you how to win if what you're doing is working. See you guys in the next video.